What's up, you guys? Scott here. So in today's video, let's talk about why you keep attracting the wrong client into your coaching or your therapy business. Now, whether you're just starting out or you've been in this industry for a long time, you may run into the phenomena of attracting the wrong clients into your business. Now, first you might think, well, Scott, what do you mean by the wrong client? Can you define this for me? Well, this is the very first part of the video. Let's dive into this where I can define what I mean by the wrong client in your business, and I'll make it very simple to understand. And then I'm going to show you a 4-step system that'll stop you attracting the wrong clients into your business and start only attracting the perfect client to your business that will not only pay in full, they're the type of people that will send you testimonials, reviews, they're going to tell the entire world about your incredible service, they're going to be on time, they're going to be respectful, and they're going to treat you and your business as their number one priority. So how do we do this? Well, like I said, let's firstly define what I mean by the wrong client. I'll also talk about why you keep attracting these wrong clients and a simple switch with this 4-step system that'll take care of all of this mess and chaos in your business so you start only working with the right clients in your business. So guys, before we begin, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And guys, let's dive in and let's go. So let's first define what I mean by the imperfect client. Now, straight off the bat, if you're expecting me to say like the reason you're attracting all the wrong clients as a therapist or a coach is because your unconscious mind is putting out the wrong energy frequency that is attracting clients that match your inner world. If that's what you're expecting me to say, this is definitely not the video for you because those things cannot be proven. I want to get that clear inside your mind. These are just theories and abstract ideas that people will tell you to sell their course. So we can't fix this. We can't prove this. We can't iterate this. We can't make this better. So what can we manually fix and logically fix that'll fix this issue for us? Well, we'll get to that and I'll show you the simple system. Very, very simple, guys. But let's firstly define what I mean by the imperfect client and what I think is the imperfect client so you know what to look for in the future. And once you fix the system based on what I'm about to teach you guys next, all of this stuff will be taken care of itself. So over the left-hand side here, let's look at the imperfect client. So the imperfect client, number one, and these aren't in any sort of order, but these are all work together. So the imperfect client, the non-related niche. So if you're a stop smoking expert or you're a weight loss expert, you're an anxiety expert, sometimes when we start to pull in clients outside of our niche, it can muddle up the whole system and it can get us very, very confused based on what I'm about to teach you next inside the system, because there is a certain set of steps that will associate to the right type of niche. So we'll get into that when I talk about the blue and red ocean niches. Number two, these are the clients that are always asking for discounts, always comparing you with somebody else. If you're constantly hearing on a phone call or a strategy call that, hey, you know what, I'm going to think about this, or I've been speaking to other therapists, they only charge $50. Why do you charge $1,500? It means that these clients are either going to ask for a discount in the very near future, or they're simply shopping around. Number three, they're not sure it will work for them. So if your clients are coming onto the phone call, you might hear a theme here, coming onto the phone call with objections. It means that the part of the system, which I'm about to hit you next, is not complete and you need to fix that part. So not sure it will work for them is essentially an objection. It's someone that comes on a phone call and says, how can I be hypnotized? I've tried this in the past. Can you confirm that this will work for me? Can you guarantee? All these sorts of objections. Number four, unsure exactly what you do. So I remember in the past when I had very imperfect clients because I didn't have the right system, one of the first things my clients would say to me is like, what exactly is it you're going to do for me? Now, what they're telling me is they're not telling me that I've got to explain to them hypnosis and NLP, even though I used to, and all they did was just confuse them. But they're really unsure. What am I an expert in? What exactly can I do for them? Number five, they're late, they're rude, they're argumentative. So if they do decide to work with you, they don't show up on time, they're rude to you, they're argumentative, they argue with everything you tell them, definitely the imperfect client. Number six, this is a big one, won't pay in full. Now I'll touch more on that in the next screen when we talk about paying in full as far as your system and your cash flow. But if a client is not paying in full, this to me defines the wrong client. Number seven, won't sign contracts. These again are just really hiding objections to what this potential client thinks about your service and the results they're going to get. Number eight, a big one, won't leave a review. And number nine, does not send referrals. Now I get it. Some of these things are outside of our control. Does this mean we shouldn't take on a client who pays us in full, is our perfect client, but won't leave us a review? No, I'm not saying that at all. But the very best scenario is client pays in full, leaves you a review, sends you referrals, and everything in between. This now becomes the absolute perfect client to help you grow your business, but also it shows you and also shows them that you've really given them a great service. So again, some of these are outside of our control, but this is what I'm looking for. If I was to define the perfect client that I would want in my stop smoking business, or even now as a business coach, whatever you want to call me, this is what I'm looking for. And these are the perfect clients because they'll be the easiest people to work with. And when I really nailed this, guys, the lawyers that I was helping quit smoking, they became the people that were just strict on my niche, only taking these people in. They never asked for discounts. They never compared me. They didn't ask me questions like, will this work for me? What's your guarantee? How do I know I can be hypnotized? They didn't ask any of those questions. At the start of my career, they did, because I essentially fucked all this stuff up right at the start. And I didn't have the right systems in place to take care of these objections for me. My lawyers were never late. They were never rude. They were never argumentative. In fact, pretty much, I would say about 95% of the lawyers that work with me showed up early and were always pleasant. They were always really respectful. And this showed me a lot about their character as well. Always paid in full, no dramas. At the end of a strategy call, here's my credit card. Always signed contracts, always left a review. Sometimes I didn't even have to ask them. What was funny was when I really nailed this at the end of a session, and I'm talking within just minutes, I do all the testing, did all my therapy, did my closing, all of that sort of stuff. Added my demarcation between therapy and normal waking state, as you guys would do as a therapist or a coach, that the lawyers would just be over the moon happy. But then they'd say, Scott, can I leave you a testimonial? Like, do you want me to give you a review? Because they understood this part of business as well. And they were constantly sending me referrals. So this is the imperfect client, the way that I define it. I'm sure there's more things to this, but this really encapsulates this. But like I said, it's not about what's happening inside your head, guys. You're not unconsciously attracting these people. You're not doing any of that stuff. Get that out of your head. It's by defining the real system that'll help you get rid of the imperfect client and only attract the right client to your business. So how do we do this? Well, let me show you. Very, very simple. There's 4 parts to this, and we'll go through these one by one. I'll also leave some more videos below that go into these ideas in a lot more detail. I don't want to drag this video on too long because I've talked about this stuff before, but I just want to show you how this all works as an entire system. And we'll go through one by one. So number 1 is what I call your blue ocean niche. Next is what I call results content, strategy call, future value, paying in full, and lastly is contracts. So let's look at blue ocean niche. What is the problem by not having a blue ocean niche, or in contrast, having something called a red ocean niche? It means that now you're trying to compete with too much competition, and your potential clients do not see you as an expert, which means they can shop around, they can go elsewhere. They start comparing you, as I talked about before, they start comparing you with Joe Blogs down the road who does it for $5 cheaper than you, and now they're going to go with him. If clients, and really understand this, guys, if clients are comparing you to another hypnotherapist, you will lose every time. If your potential clients are comparing you to another coach, another NLPer, another RTTer, which they will do if you run a business as a coach, a therapist, you define your very being by being a therapist or a coach. It means you're always going to be defined to somebody else. So again, I'll leave a video explaining this more. One of the biggest things you can do right at the start of your business, guys, I won't get too far into this, is stop identifying yourself as a coach or a therapist. I'll leave a video below showing exactly what I mean, but this takes you out of the red ocean into the blue ocean. So blue ocean is very, very simple. What it really means is low competition, a real niche, a real problem, and these people have the real ability to pay your services in full. Anything outside of that is a red ocean. Too much competition, too much comparing, low prices, same niche, same problem, calling yourself an RTT, a coach, a therapist, all of those sorts of things, keep you in a red ocean. We want to get into a blue ocean because the problem that it causes is clients do not see you as an expert. Next is objections. And this is probably the biggest one. If clients are turning up on the phone call, giving you all of these objections that I listed before, it means that you're not allowing your content, this is key here, allowing your content to destroy all of these objections for you. If you're having to destroy objections on a phone call, it always means that your content is off, because we know content for our marketing purposes, how we get clients onto the phone call in the first place. So what type of content shouldn't we be creating? If you're talking about yourself, posting selfies, you're talking about your journey or why you became an RTT, a NLP, a hypnotherapist, a coach, which yes, is important to you. It's important for me to hear those things. I love hearing those stories about why you guys became a coach and a therapist in the first place. But if you're working with general public, they don't care. Clients have their own story, guys. They don't care about you. They don't care about why you became a therapist or a coach. Your clients right now are in a hell of a lot of pain, and they're online trying to look for an answer for their pain. And never in a million years did I ever have a lawyer go online and try and find out why I became a hypnotherapist. They went online to figure out why they can't stop smoking. And it's my job to have my content show up in those places. But again, I'll leave a video below showing that in more detail. So your content needs to be based on results, proof, showing how deep your knowledge goes or depth of knowledge, proving you're an expert, showing testimonials, showing reviews, and allowing these things to destroy objections. One of the biggest objections, guys, across any sort of niche is always going to be this: will this work for me? Now, you can talk all day long about how hypnotherapy does this, how the mind works, how NLP works, and all that sort of stuff, but it's not destroying that initial objection. Clients want to know what's going to work for them. The only way they're going to know if it will work for them is if you show them proof and you show them how deep your knowledge goes based on their problem. Not the how you do things, not your expert knowledge on NLP or hypnosis or conversation hypnosis, anything like that, but depth of knowledge with anxiety, stop smoking, weight loss, fear of public speaking, whatever it is. You're showing how deep your knowledge goes and you want to back that up with a lot of proof. You can call yourself an expert all day long, which is what a lot of gurus will do, and use this as an experiment, guys. Look at all your favorite gurus. And if they're calling themselves an expert in this, take it one step further. Go look for results. What's really alarming is you'll see a lot of people calling themselves an expert and how they can do this for you in your life. They can build your business. They can do all these sorts of things, but there's no proof or testimonials, which shows they're just talking out their ass, so to speak. But you sort of get my point, guys. Let's have a bit of fun with this. Objections are always caused by the wrong type of content. A selfie is never going to destroy an objection. Talking about your story is never going to destroy an objection. What will is proof of your expertise, showing how deep your knowledge goes. Proof and testimonials, these will all destroy the objections. So the next one is we talked about just before, the imperfect client not paying in full. This is important for one reason. As a new business owner, as a therapist or a coach, cash flow is king. What does cash flow do for you in your business? Well, I hear a lot of people talking about, well, Scott, I want to make an impact in people's lives. I want to make an impact in all my clients across the world. And this is important. I love this. But the only way you're going to make a massive impact is if you have the ability to work in your business and on your business full time. Very hard to make a living or make an impact in people's lives when you have to work a 9-to-5 job and you've only got like an hour every couple of days to work on this, because progress is going to be very, very slow. And the only way to be able to impact people's lives and for you to be able to work in and on your business is by getting cash flow, immediate cash into your business, to try and avoid as best you can payment plans. You want to get cash flow in full, getting paid in full. So how do you do this? Well, you want to have some sort of strategy call system. You need a script. You need to know what questions to ask. You also have to talk about future value. You don't want to just talk about the immediate result. Again, I'll leave a video below. You don't just want to talk about the immediate result. You want to talk about the future value, because this allows us to bring up our price and educate our clients as to why our prices are 10 times more expensive, 100 times more expensive. And if you do this correctly, you now become the only logical choice for your clients. Now, here's the funny thing. When I used to do this with my lawyers, and I used to talk about the immediate result, the future result of being a non-smoker, or the byproduct results they're going to get, what their life will look like if they do work with me, what their life will look like if they don't work with me, and how their problem is going to cause more problems into the future and cost them more money and time and things like that, which was very important for my clients. Even though my prices were $1,500 and they knew they were going to quit in their lunch break, they never compared me to anybody else. I became their logical choice, even though they knew they could go down the road, and literally, I mean down the road, to my competition, who were charging at the time like $75, $100. I was charging $1,500. And this came to a point where I did this so well. I used to have a monthly waiting list of lawyers wanting to see me. They refused to go anywhere else, because the way I explained it, the way I educated my lawyers in what I was doing, I became the only logical choice, even though I was 10 times, 100 times the price of everybody else. That's the importance of this, and paying in full. Paying in full is getting cash flow into your business, allowing resources, allowing time. Very hard to get time in your business. Time helps us create a bigger impact in more people's lives. Very hard to get time in our business when we have a $50 payment plan here, $75 here, $25 here. No, payment in full. Lastly is contracts and refunds, okay? One of the big problems I see, and this was for me as well before I started using proper contracts, one of the big things I noticed was client issues would always arise when I didn't have the right contract. So should you have contracts for your clients? Absolutely, 100% of the time. I'll leave another video below showing you why that's more important. But contracts really take care of what I call the intangible outcomes. So how do you know that the outcome you're giving your client is intangible? Okay, and this is just a metaphor. I don't mean they physically have to see it, like a non-smoker won't smoke anymore. That's tangible. It could also be intangible by a very strong feeling, like, Scott, I had social anxiety. Now when I go out into crowds, I have no problems. That's not physical, that's a feeling. And there's no shadow of a doubt that that problem has been solved. So by having an intangible outcome, this is what will happen. You'll work with your client through your program, your service, your month, whatever it is you're working with this client. At the end, you'll know deep in your heart, you've helped them as best you can. You can physically see the results. You know they've changed, but they come back to you and say, hey, Scott, what exactly was I supposed to get out of this? I feel the same. It doesn't seem like anything's changed. And as soon as you start this conversation, it's all downhill from this. So you want to make sure that you can clearly define what the outcome's going to be so your clients know what they're paying for, guys. The more clear it is, the more tangible, as a metaphor, it doesn't just have to be physical, it can be emotion as well. It's a lot easier for your clients to know they've got the results. You don't want to be talking to your client and they're saying, well, I don't feel any different. And you say, yes, you are. You're brilliant. You're going to feel amazing. Just wait. And they wait a week. They come back and say, hey, it's still not changed. I still feel the same. No. You just got to trust. Just wait. Be patient. That's a conversation you're never going to win. And I can guarantee a couple of weeks after that, now you're dealing with refunds. You're dealing with people leaving you bad reviews, saying bad things about you, and your success of your business goes downhill. Very easy to tarnish a business that way, unfortunately. Now, that's where contracts come into this, okay? And having a clearly defined outcome, but also in your contracts being very, very clear on your terms and conditions, defining what your role is as a therapist or a coach and what their role is, what the outcome will be, your refund policies, your guarantee policies. Now, you don't just want to dismiss these things, especially when your prices are through the roof. You want to make sure that you clearly define these things. So guys, when it comes down to it, it's really us. It's the things that we do beforehand before a client gets on a phone call with us. What makes the imperfect client is not what's going on in your head. You're not attracting these people. Is that you're not allowing the system to attract these clients to you. When you nail this, this is the result. Every client that gets on a phone call with you, which is really the start of the relationship with this person on a strategy call or a clarity call, this is usually what you'll start to hear. And I'll use me as an example as well. So Scott, I watched all your videos. I watched all your content. I read your book. I watched your webinars. I've watched everything. I've only got one question for you. Can I pay via Stripe? Because I don't have PayPal. That's usually like 80% of my phone calls as a coach. Now, why is this? Because I've set all this up and I've defined this and refined this to work for me. I allow my content to destroy all the objections. I found a blue ocean niche where I have a differentiation amongst all my competition. I allow, again, the results, the content, my proof of expertise. I allow that to destroy the objections. I do a proper strategy call. I talk about future value. I only have one price, which is pay in full. Now, sure, we do have payment plans, okay? But it's a little bit different when you've got an online course, guys. But even when I was doing face-to-face with smokers, no payment plans, it was paid in full. But the theory still remains the same. Even though my clients right now, because I've got the online course, know I have payment plans, we still get about 90 to 95% paying in full because they see the value in it. And our payment plans are still very reasonable. But back to when I was a therapist, a hypnotherapist working with lawyers to quit smoking, I never talked about payment plans. It was one price, one niche, one result. That was it. No payment plans. You either do this or you don't. Cash flow into my business allowed me more time to make a better product, which was helping lawyers quit smoking, get better as a therapist, work with more people, make a bigger impact, all that great stuff. And I had very defined contracts. So like I said, your client's going to be on the phone. They're going to say, I've watched all your content. And what they're basically telling you is you've destroyed all my objections. You have motivated me to book a call. I'm ready to go. I have no questions. I have no doubt in my mind that you can help me. But without this stuff, that client's going to bring all of this stuff with them, and you're going to spend the entire phone call, them in the wrong objection mindset, them talking about guarantees and will this work for me and how do I know you can help me and blah, 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 all the excuses. And then by the end of the phone call, they're still not going to buy it because they're the imperfect client. If they do decide to buy, they're going to say, do you do anything cheaper? Can you give it to me cheaper? I'm on a pension. I'm on this sort of excuse. You want to avoid those people. And by having these things in place, guys, especially I'll just touch on the blue ocean niche, you're going to funnel away the people that aren't inside your niche. So the great thing about becoming an expert is not even having an expert price, but it's going to funnel away the people that are not smokers or are not having weight loss issues or anxiety issues. And you're only going to attract the people, the right people, your niche that you're an expert in, into the system. You won't have to spend your time on phone calls with all the wrong clients. So guys, it's not you. It's not what's happening up in here. Get that out of your mind. Bit of a metaphor for that. It's always us. It's not them. Make sure you have the right systems in place to help handle this type of business model. Have your blue ocean niche, talk about results, stop talking about yourself and posting selfies and trying to act all deep and metaphoric and talking about how the world works and, you know, how the mind works. Clients aren't looking for this. They're looking for a result. So prove this to them with your depth of knowledge, strategy, call system, future value, paid in full. Make sure your contracts are on point and you'll never have an issue with these wrong clients again. So guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. If you did enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. We give a lot away with this free content. So make sure you guys, I can make growing your businesses a hell of a lot easier online. Like I said, if you do have any questions, you can leave a comment below. I'll always answer it. Or reach out to me on social media. Come and find me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. And guys, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.